everyone, it's Cindy from Stamped with Aloha. I have a really fun project to share with you today. We're going to be making a gift tag box that's filled with 5 really out-of-the-box tags. So let's go ahead and get started on today's project. So this is the sending cheer stamp set, and then this is the coordinating dies. Really love this because there is so many things that you can do, not just to create cards, but especially to create some really unique gift tags. So this is the project that I'm going to teach you how to make today, this little file folder box, and it's filled with some really unique tags. And so I'm going to teach you first how to make the box, and then we'll get into all of the different tags. I think you're going to love it. Okay, to make the box, I have a 5x8 piece of basic white cardstock. This, however, is thick cardstock, okay? And I'm going to use my Stampin' Trimmer here. I'm going to line up that cardstock on the long side at the 1-inch mark, and then I'm going to score all across the bottom. Okay, then I'm going to turn it and I'm going to score it again at that 1-inch mark. So I'm going to line it up here and score it. Then I'm going to bring it over to 3.5 inches and I'm going to score it. And then I'm going to bring it over to 4.5 inches and score it again. And then I'm going to do one final score line at 7 inches. Okay, I said one final, but we actually have one more. So now we have a basic box layout, but I want to do one more score line to make as a little marker on this project. So you've got the score line going down the right side here. We want to make one more parallel score line at the 1-inch mark in this lower section right here. So I'm going to take and I'm going to line it up on the opposite side of where that first score line was at the 1-inch mark. And then I'm going to bring my scoring blade over here to 7 inches. And that should line it up with the score line that's here. And all I'm going to do is just do a score line from 7 inches to 5.5 inches. Okay? And that should make a little marker on there. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so where I have that little marker on there, that's going to be the front of our project. So the first thing I'm going to do is on the bottom left side of that, I'm going to slit up to that 1-inch score line, and I'm going to cut this flap right off of the box. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead from the bottom and cut up to that 1-inch score line. And also over here. Okay, so now all of the flaps are done. And I'm just going to kind of score it, fold it. I'm going to fold it on those scored lines. And now we're ready to glue it together. So when you glue it together, this part that we remove this piece is going to be the part that's going to wrap around to the back of the box like this. And you'll notice that it will lay flat. So that's a tip for gluing boxes together, is we can lay it flat like that and we'll make sure everything is nice and straight. So you can use tear and tape. For this project today, I'm going to just use my green glue, my multi-purpose liquid glue. It's very strong as well, and it will work. It will work. It just requires a little bit more drying time than if we used tear and tape, but it's very strong and it'll hold. Okay, so now normally when you're making a box like this, you would then, turn the flaps in on the bottom like this, and you would add some more green glue to secure the bottom. But we don't want to do that just yet, because this is going to be a magazine holder style box. So we need to cut a diagonal at the top here. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to place them in the at the side here, and I'm going to just carefully cut from the side of this box over to that score line. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this straight down and basically cut that little triangle off. All right, then I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. I'm going to put my scissors in the corner and I'm going to cut at a diagonal until I get to that score line, and then I'm going to cut this corner off. Okay, all right, now we can go ahead and secure the bottom. So we're going to fold in the flap like that, and then we will, I always like to just line it up, because if it doesn't line up, if it doesn't fit well, you can always take and trim this off a little bit to make it fit better, but that looks good. So I'm going to then just add some liquid glue to the bottom and kind of press that in place. And then for the top here, I want to tuck this in. So I'm gonna just add some adhesive here. And you know, you could have cut that off, but I really like this look of having a nice clean edge. And actually I got this tip from my friend Zenny, who's this master box maker. And so she gave me that tip of instead of cutting it off, just fold it in. So thank you, Zenny, for your great ideas. This is actually her template. Next, we're gonna take a 2 by 2.5 piece of designer series paper. We're going to add some glue to the back, and then I'm gonna place this on a piece of real red cardstock, and this real red cardstock has been cut at 2 1/4 by 2 3/4. And then I'm gonna grab some dimensionals, and I'm gonna place dimensionals on the back. And then place this on the front of the box. All right, so now that you have the box done, you can choose whatever focal point feature you want on the front of the box. If you'll remember, I chose to put the gingerbread man. And let me just show you what the gingerbread man looks like when you stamp him. So if you were to stamp him and die cut him out, he would look like this. And then otherwise, you can do what I did here, which is to just die cut it out of cardstock. And then I just stamped the smile and added the rosy cheeks. And then you can use that one. So really, I think I'm gonna go ahead and use this one. And so we don't even need to finish assembling this, because what we wanna move on to next is a really fun part of this video where I'm gonna show you some really cute tags. For the tags, we are gonna use a new punch. This is the Sparkling Snowflake Tag Topper Punch. And then we're gonna use another piece of thick basic white cardstock. This is 2 inches by 4 1/4 inches. So you can see that a 2-inch tag will slide very easily into the punch, and then we're gonna go ahead and punch it out. Okay, so because this box is gonna have 5 tags in it, you would go ahead and do that 5 times. All right, so now we have the 5 tags ready. We're gonna go ahead and stamp them. Okay, now to give the tags a little pop of color, we're gonna use some designer series paper. And so I'm gonna be using a Walk in the Forest, which is this really cute paper pictured on page 5 of our September to December 2023 catalog. Although I love the little bear, we're actually not even gonna feature the bear. We're gonna use some of the fun patterns that are on the back side. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a 2 by 2 1/4 piece of designer series paper to each one of these tags. So now our tags are all prepped and we are ready to create the focal point. So for tag number 1, we're not going to go real out of the box. We're just going to create this tag just as it was intended to be. So rather than stamp the stocking, I just die cut the stocking in red, and then I have this little piece that goes on the top of the stocking. And there's 2 different dies that you could use for this. There's one that's a little bit more fluffy. And so I'm going to just take some mini dimensionals and place them on the back of this piece right here. And then I'm going to place this at the top of the stocking. Okay, and then we're going to add some holly. And I'm going to place that right there. And then we're going to add these little holly berries with a mini dimensional. And we're going to place that right there. And then I'm going to use 3 of the iridescent rhinestones. Okay, and then when it's done, I'm going to just put some baker's twine and I'm going to string it on the front like that. And the completed tag will look like this. And this one I did use a different shade of green, but I've been mixing up with the colors in this designer series paper. I've been mixing up the garden green with the shaded spruce. So either one is gonna look great, okay? So this is tag number 1. You can see it's just a basic tag, but so cute. Okay, now moving on to tag number 2, we are going to die cut this piece of the die, which is made with the holographic paper that we have in our catalog now. And then we're gonna do a gingerbread man. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and cut off the little loop at the top like that. And then let me get out my Memento ink. I'm going to ink up the face, and I'm going to stamp the face. I'm going to grab a pink marker to do rosy cheeks. And then I could stamp the 3 hearts that are in there, but I thought what would be really fun is instead I'm just going to put a little tiny heart. So let me pick this up with my, okay, and then I'm going to finish this one up with just 3 iridescent jewel rhinestones. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to place some dimensionals on here. I'm going to lay him on the cookie sheet. And then with the piece of baker's twine, I'm going to hang that on there. I'm going to place baker's twine from the back. And then I'm going to put our little cookie sheet on there. And then thread the baker's twine through here, and we want to get it to go right through the center of that snowflake. And then if you want to secure it a little bit better, you can go ahead and tie a knot. Okay, and then this is tag number 2. All right, now the fun stuff begins. For the next tag, we're going to be using these pieces that I die cut from the Sending Cheers dies. The only piece that's not from the dies is this. This is a 1 3/4 inch circle punch that I punched out of Petal Pink cardstock. So the first thing that we're going to do is take our little smile. I've cleaned it, and I'm going to take a black Stampin' Write marker, and I'm only going to ink up the eyes. Okay, so I'm just going to color black on there and turn it over, and I'm going to stamp those eyes on there like that. All right, the next thing that I'm going to do is get one of our blossoming pearls, and I'm going to take this large pearl right here, and I'm going to place it right there next to underneath the 2 eyes. Okay, and then I'm going to take a this is my dark bubble bath, and I'm going to draw on some rosy cheeks. Then I'll take my Stampin' Write marker, and from one cheek to the other cheek, I'm going to create a little smile. Okay. Okay, next we're going to take the hat, and we're going to add some adhesive at the bottom. And then we're going to place this on the head like this. And then we're going to grab some dimensionals. I have some large dimensionals here. And we're going to put a couple of dimensionals behind this piece. And we're going to place this on the top of the hat like that. Okay, now we can add the ears once we see where the hat ended up. So we're going to put some glue behind here, and we're going to make sure that those ears are sticking out. Got a little bit too much glue there. And on the opposite side too. Okay, so now we've got our little elf ears, and then we're going to take this, and this is part of the present that's in there, and we're just going to cut off this front part here, the little cross. And then you can use a glue dot. I'm just going to use a little bit of liquid glue, and we're going to put that right there. Okay, and then you would go ahead and take one of the tags. So I'm going to use this tag right here. You would add the baker's twine. When it's completed, it's going to look like this. You have a little hanging elf tag. Okay, that's tag number 3. Now are you ready to make Santa? Okay, for the Santa tag, we're going to use this background, and then we're going to get out these pieces. Okay, so it's a 1 3/4 inch circle. It's a red hat. It's this piece here, which is, I believe, a piece that would work with the stocking if you wanted to make the top of the stocking a little bit more fluffy. And then it's this piece here that is the brim of the hat. Then we've got the 2 little leaves, and then you will have 3 of these pieces here, which are little flowers that go with the leaves, or you can also look at them as the little pom-pom on the hat. I call them flowers, but okay, so let's put this one together. Santa is gonna be so cute. All right, so to make Santa, we're gonna do it in the same way that we did the elf. We're gonna start with the eyes. So we're just going to ink up the eyes with a black Stampin' Write marker. And then I usually huff on it, and then I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. Probably don't really need to do that. I know when you do that, it just kind of keeps the stamp juicy, but I'm doing it so fast that I'm just doing it by habit probably. Okay, and then we're going to take a pearl. We're gonna press that pearl on there like that. So now Santa has a little nose. All right, we definitely want to give Santa rosy cheeks. So we're going to put a rosy cheek on this side, even though you're not gonna see a lot of the rosy cheeks because Santa's gonna have a big beard. We wanna just put a little bit there too to give him a mouth, even though again, we're gonna cover that all up. All right, so let's put the hat on first, just like we did with the elf. So we're gonna put some adhesive underneath here like this. And then we're going to put on Santa's hat. Okay, and then we want to take and put a little bit of hair on the side of Santa's face. So a little bit of adhesive here. Okay, and then we want to put this beard on. And so I'm trying to line up like the V right there. I don't know if you can see it, but the V of this piece right there with like where I drew in the little mouth. Okay, so it looks like we've connected the beard on this side. So on this side, I'm just going to, since I'm working with liquid glue, I'm just gonna pull that flower down a little bit to connect the 2 side pieces with the beard. I'm gonna push that in a little bit so that Santa's beard kind of comes over the top. But either way you do it, you want it to kind of look like this. All right, and then we're gonna take this piece and we're gonna add dimensionals behind it. And then this is going to be the top of the hat. Okay, and then we have these right here with some mini dimensionals. And now these little white leaves are going to become the finishing touch and the mustache. So cute. Oops, wrong side. Get a fresh one. This side. Okay. All right, and then we have this one here, and I am gonna grab a mini dimensional. Oop, they're almost all gone, so let me just cut a small piece. And I'm gonna place a dimensional behind this. And this is going to be the little pom-pom on Santa's hat. And that's our little Santa, made with the Sending Cheer dies. Isn't he cute? So then again, with your baker's twine or ribbon or whatever you want to string these on with, you're gonna run it through like that, and your finished tag is going to look like this. Yay! Okay, we have one more to do, and that's Mrs. Claus. So we're gonna start in the same way. We are going to do the eyes with a black Stampin' Write marker. Okay, and then we're going to stamp the eyes. Next, we're going to add some rosy cheeks. But to make Mrs. Claus special, we're gonna add one more stamp, and that is from the stamp set Bird's Eye View. Can you guess which stamp I'm gonna use? I am gonna use these glasses. So I'm going to ink up the glasses, and I'm going to come in here and give Mrs. Claus some cute glasses. Okay, then we're going to take the black marker and we are going to draw a smile from one cheek to the other. And then she's just missing a nose, so we'll grab one of these pearls and we'll pop a pearl on there. And it's just a perfect fit. Look at her, isn't she cute? All right, for the next piece, we're gonna use this one here. And I'm gonna just put a little bit of adhesive on the bottom. And we're gonna put some white hair over here on this side. And then we've got this other piece right here. And we're going to have that coming down on the other side. So I want this towards the bottom. And now she's got some hair. Look at her, she's so stylish there. Now we're gonna take this hat. We're going to place that hat on top of her hair. And then we're going to just embellish her hat with some holly. So put that on there like so. And then let me cut a little, I'm out of my mini dimensionals, but the edges of the mini dimensionals are great because you can just cut them up to whatever size you need. So I'm just gonna cut a little piece here and add those on there like so. Okay, go ahead and we'll add our rhinestones. I'm using my finger, but actually this tool will work a lot better and faster. Okay, and I love how sparkly she is. And then just like the elf, we're gonna finish her up with a bow. So I'm gonna just take and cut this like that. And then we'll just add a little bit of glue and place that on her like that to finish it off, okay? And there is our little Mrs. Claus. So when you attach her with some baker's twine to the tag, she's gonna look like this. Ah. And so these are the 5 completed tags. So we have the stocking, the gingerbread man, Mr. and Mrs. Claus, and the elf. And then you'll carefully stack these all together. And then place them in the box. Okay, and then what I would probably do just for presentation is I would take a really crunchy cello bag like this. I would just pull it up on the top, grab a pretty ribbon, and we're gonna just tie a bow. Just grab some tape and you'll just tuck in the bottom and you can fold those in like that. And you'll have a really nice package that you can give somebody with some really cute, fun, out-of-the-box gift tags. Well, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video today. It was so much fun spending this time with you. I hope that you'll come back and stamp with me again real soon. Until next time, aloha.